a passion project from Woodford Reserve, brought to us by the ever experimental Miss Elizabeth McCall, Master Distiller. That's what we have today.
I'm excited to get into this one.
Sherry cask finish. We're no stranger to that kind of thing.
Boy, howdy.
But we want to see what Woodford Reserve has to offer when it comes to that stuff. So we're going to find out with you on this episode of Savor the Burn. Let's rock! Hello, everyone. Welcome to this here episode of the Savor the Burn podcast. My name is Jonathan. Across the barrels from me is Mr. W. Dose. How do you do, sir?
I am so stoked. We were at Woodford Reserve, which it was both of our first times at Woodford Reserve.
Definitely my first time, for sure.
So super excited. Those rick houses looked... Yeah. We didn't even get to do a tour.
They ranged in ages from like 200 years ago to fairly recent.
Yeah. As we're just kind of walking through the gift shop, looking for what are we getting from there. You got a pour. I didn't get a pour.
Yeah, I got a pour of that rye. And
you know what?
it's very good.
I was driving, so I was trying to be very mindful of when and where I get my pours. I had decided that Woodford Reserve was in that zone where I was not getting a pour. That's why I got nothing.
That's what they call responsible.
If you saw the short, you saw.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
Yeah, I got nothing. I got a pour of this fancy stuff. What do you got?
But anyway,
nothing.
I got some cool socks, and I found this.
Yep.
And there was a couple bottles that I was interested in. But this one piqued
a lot of bottles to be interested in.
This one piqued my attention because this is part of their exclusive distillery series. You cannot find this anywhere except for right there in the gift shop at the distillery.
Yep.
And I was just like...
And our cashier said as much. You're like, oh, cool. You know, we hope you're going to like this because, you know, you can only get this here.
Yep. How cool is it that a distillery with such a legendary thoroughbred
legacy
history.
Yeah.
And I'm choosing those words very specifically because of their tie to the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
But how amazing is it that such a respected and world-renowned distillery has Elizabeth McCall, a woman master distiller at the helm, making all the decisions for them.
Yep, that's incredible. That's incredible. I mean, you want to see progress in the world. You want to see what women can do. Well, we're seeing what women can do. We've tried the Masters, Select series, different things here and there.
Yep.
The Madeira cask.
Oh, that Madeira cask was incredible.
Yeah. The double oaked, I believe, was her idea too.
I love that double. I've seen some people that have been like, me.
And then dropping it down to just the plain old double oaked.
The double oaked.
It's an easy go-to everyday pour.
Just ahead of this year's Derby Day, we did an episode where we side by side the double oaked with a store pick double oaked.
Yeah,
they're both the same proof. The only difference in them is one is a single barrel, one is their standard batch. Great episode, and I feel
fun and very eye opening. I mean, you really learn a lot.
I feel like that episode really helped paint a true picture of what the power of a single barrel has. And not necessarily discounting its counterpart of the larger batch.
Absolutely not.
But what that difference makes. It's night and day.
It's completely unique
night and day
expression of the same juice.
Anyway, This is a Distillery Exclusive. This is the Woodford Reserve blended malt sherry cask finish.
And malt, so we should expect some
it's not a bourbon.
Things.
It's not a bourbon. It is not a bourbon.
It's a malt whiskey.
This category comes in as an American malt because, like said, it is a blended malt sherry cask finish produced in Kentucky by Woodford Reserve. There is no age statement on this, which is not that's standard.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pause right.
Bottle pop. Listen, it's a 375, so it's gonna sound a little bit different. You ready? Here's the microphone. Here we go. Actually, it's tilted a little bit. Whatever. Anyway, here we go. Ready? What the hell? I did too much talking. It's probably my fault somehow.
That's all right. Par for course. Right in line with most everything that Woodford Reserve does. This comes in at 90.4 proof. Like I said, no age statement. According to a brand press release, Woodford Reserve Distillery Series blended malt combines 100% malt aged in used barrels, then finished in a ruby port barrel.
Oh, okay.
With a blend of 5 different styles of malt grains aged in new oak barrels.
That's a lot going on.
That said, the brand has clarified the product is considered a whiskey specialty based on TTB regulations. For reference, those would require something labeled malt whiskey be aged in charred new oak containers. Things get a little tricky once you combine liquid aged in both used and new cooperage. So I appreciate Woodford stepping carefully on this. So
yeah.
That was a little something that I pulled from a site that I found that had a review of this.
That is so cool. Smell that and tell me what pops in your head, like top 3 things. I'm gonna write it down. I just want to see if you come up with the same thing.
Oh.
It's not something I think I've ever smelled before, and it's not sherry. Like I expected this to be kind of sherry forward. It's just not.
There's a hint of it there, but it's not forward. I'm gonna say cotton candy.
You're picking up cotton candy?
I'm guessing that was not on your list.
It's not on my list. Mine was more of an herb you would find in a pickling spice.
Is there some coriander on there?
I don't know. For whatever, I'll just say.
There's kind of a vinegary kind of
vinegar.
Yeah.
Kind of vinegar. Keep going. Keep spitballing. Keep rolling with that. Or I'll just say it.
Just say it. Just spit it out.
Guys, to me, this smells like dill or like a sweet gherkin,
Dude,
dill.
it is. It's full on dill. It's fresh dill.
That's so fucking wild. I've never smelled this before.
No.
And coriander, you think coriander and maybe clove?
Some fresh dill, some clove. I think there's vanilla on it. I don't know if there's...
This is so wild.
There's no... I don't think there's any caramel.
And 4th of July.
But I'm getting vanilla.
Like gunpowder. I don't know. Is that a sulfur thing? I don't know. It just... I'm gonna say maybe brown sugar and molasses. Okay. Dill, coriander, clove, brown sugar.
For sweetness.
Mold.
You want to get into it first, or you want me to read some of the tasting notes?
No, we have to get into this first. See, what we like to do is we like to get into it and like we just did with the nose. You saw it. We like to get into it and figure out what we think it smells like, what we think it tastes like, what we think it finishes like, and then we go to the notes and see what they have to say. Because our palate, our nose is not theirs.
Let's do this.
Yes.
Woodford Reserve.
Woodford Reserve. Elizabeth
McCall. There's more dill. I'm not mad at that. I love that.
That is so wild. How is that even possible?
The sherry cask presents itself on the palate.
I find it on the finish. You find it on the palate?
On the palate and finish. But yeah, that is
dill and clove for sure.
So Katie and I are huge fans of salmon.
Yes.
and we love preparing our salmon in a variety of different ways.
Yeah.
One of them
super versatile.
One of them is with a nice coating of fresh or ground dill.
God, that is so fucking wild.
Dill and lemon. This reminds me a lot of when we do salmon. Yeah.
Malt. Are you picking up malt? I don't know if I'm picking up malt. Is there any kind of grassy note?
I'm 100% picking up a malty kind of a note.
Nose and palate? Or just palate or just nose?
Across the board.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
To me, when you're talking about a malt whiskey, you have a little bit of an earthy and I think there's a creaminess that kind of sneaks in there a little bit.
Huh.
But there's an earthy note, there's a grassy note, there is kind of just a very soft. Wheated bourbons pick up a very soft and creamy
but this is soft.
Flavor shows. This is soft. I feel like there's a creaminess to this. This is a creamy dill.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad at it. I love that, actually. This is catching me off guard.
When I woke up this morning, I had no idea. It was not on my 2025 bingo card that I would try a Woodford Reserve that would taste so much like a kind of creamy dill. I can't believe this. This is nutso.
Are you ready for some tasting notes?
Nutso. Before we get into that, what else do you pick up? So on the palate, real quick, dill and clove, malt / barley, soft and creamy. What else would you throw with that? It's sweet. Does the molasses carry through from the nose, or is it something else?
I think it carries through.
Okay. Molasses is a very distinct flavor, so I think I do agree with that. Does that carry through to the finish? What are you saying here? What do you got?
I've been throwing some curveballs all night long.
You really have.
I have another one for you.
All right.
And this is a very, very, very left field.
All right.
On the palate, some blueberry. As my berry note to this, I'm thinking blueberry.
Fucking love blueberry. Like, I don't think I will ever stop loving blueberry.
There's nothing tart enough to be a raspberry or something else, but I'm getting a little bit of a blueberry style.
Yeah.
Berryness.
It's a dark berry fruit, but it's a light tasting. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? That checks out. All right. How about finish?
The finish is great.
Malt / barley. It's soft and creamy.
I would say medium.
Does the dill carry over through there?
I think it does. I think the dill dissipates rather quickly on the finish, but it is there for the finish and then is in the wind.
Like a fart in the wind.
Oh, Henry and his fart jokes. He loves fart jokes.
And boy, he loves
farts.
And then I had to go and like double down and make it worse for everybody by getting the farting ninja and the burping zombie or whatever it was.
I'm just thankful.
Have those toys disappeared?
No.
They probably should have, dude.
He still has them. But I'm very thankful that we've actually instilled some manners in him enough. So we'll be sitting at the dinner table and he'll rip one nasty, gnarly fart. And without even looking up, he'll go, "Excuse me." Because he knows that he needs to say, "Excuse me," when you do that. We haven't quite gotten him to not do that at the table.
Yeah, like maybe you run in the other room, you find a ventilated area, you go outside.
We've talked to him
you fart, you do the fucking.
We've talked to him about that.
Do the Elvis work its way out of your pants.
But at least he immediately goes, "Excuse me."
Yeah, at least he said, "It's a start."
It's a start. Yeah. So on the
finish, tasting notes. It's got malt/barley. It's medium warm. It really is. It's soft and creamy. There's dill that quickly dissipates. Just a little bit. Thank you. And what else would you say? I think we need like one or two more things on the finish. I think it has at least one or two to offer.
I think there may be a little bit of sourdough.
Okay, so when I nosed it, I thought, well, maybe this is going to bring sourdough back. But I don't know if it did. It's kind of cakey, but I don't know if sourdough like banana bread kind of cake. It's like a thick cake.
Hang on,
but it's not banana. It's not banana. I don't think it's banana.
You know what it is?
What?
Banana bread.
You think it's banana bread, really? On the palate and finish?
Palate and finish. There's a hint of that banana Foster's, banana bread. There's a bready quality to it.
But it's so much dill.
And I initially thought sourdough, but I'm now thinking it's banana bread covered, sounds weird and crazy, covered in dill.
This bad boy, I mean, it's got dill and banana bread on it. Like,
all right.
Yeah, what do the distiller's notes have to say?
These are not distiller's notes.
Oh.
Because this is a distillery exclusive.
Yeah.
I didn't find anything on this on their website because it's not on their website because it's only available at the distillery. But I found a handful of sites that had this bottle and reviewed it. So this is what...
all right, let's see what they have to say.
And so I kind of mashed up a few things and
what do they have on the nose?
Golden amber color, right? Sure.
I don't know. I think it's every bit as dark as, the chestnut or whatever it was that we had before.
Hydrate that
Remember that?
barrel. Hydrate that barrel.
Right? Yeah. Let's add a little something for the homie.
So the nose, I have here a little brown sugar sweetness meets a vegetal savory note that develops after a long time in the glass. Roasted acorn squash lightly basted in sugar and brown butter.
Do you like acorn squash?
I love
I've had it once.
I love acorn
squash.
Yeah,
all right. Okay, cool.
I make a mean roasted acorn squash.
I'm fucking down to try it, dude. The only acorn squash I've had was from Whole Foods.
All right.
I thought it was okay at best. See, squash has that texture. It has that thing that squash has, But I'm definitely willing to try.
I bet Jennifer would like it too.
Yeah. She's super picky, dude. Super picky.
Well, one of these days, you're just going to have to bring her along. And we're going to fuck around and find out.
We're going to fuck around and find out. Yeah, just one of these days.
Anyway.
It's just one of those days.
All right. So, palate.
Palate. Yeah, palate. What does it have to say on the palate?
The tart fruit continues through to the early stages of the palate. This time, sweetener and with a pronounced flavor of baked green apples. That orange marmalade and cherry folds in shortly thereafter. Baking spices, particularly clove and cinnamon, also accumulate across the back and sides of the tongue, lingering through to the finish. After the mid-palate, we're back to green apples. Here, it's coupled with the aforementioned baking spice and the flavors meld into dehydrated spiced apple slices.
Oh, spiced apple slices.
I can see that.
Is that fuck, I don't know. Is it the apple rings that you get in a jar?
It sells dehydrated. Yes.
Oh, dehydrated. Okay.
So those dehydrated apple slices? Yes.
Jennifer eats the fuck out of those. I don't really like. I was thinking I'm thinking rings, like apple rings, right? They'll be in a jar. They'll probably be colored by whatever dyes. They'll either be red or they'll be green, right? And it's like sliced apple.
Get yourself some.
Cord. For this much, I might only do one.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do two.
Do two.
I'll do two. Give that a good SJ, a good swirl job.
There's definitely apple all over that.
You think so? I didn't pick up the whole time you were reading that on the. Holy shit! That's like spice cake, and that's that apple bread. That's that the apple bread, banana bread. That's Yeah, fuck. After adding wow, that was quick. After I added a couple drops of water to it.
So get that on the palate, and I'm going to read the finish.
All right, hang on. Here we go.
Finish notes say dried apples, dark raisins, and oak lead a dry and mid-length finish. Hints of malt layer intermittently here as the finish alternates between fruit and grain. A somewhat expected element of dark cocoa powder provides a mild chocolatey component at the very end. I didn't get any chocolate at all.
I'm not getting the chocolate either.
No cocoa, no chocolate. But
raisin.
But raisin and dried apple?
I'm still not picking up on the apple.
So.
And that's all right. But you are, though, right?
I am. I absolutely am.
On palate and finish? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll write that down.
This is delicious.
Yeah, so this
is really, really unique.
This did not, and none of what we said had anything to do with
sherry.
With sherry.
There's no sherry.
Or with the regular tasting notes that you would expect when it comes to sherry, except for the raisin.
So, or apple.
Apple shows up on sherry?
Sherry and apple are BFFs.
We haven't tried a sherry. Maybe we need to do a bonus where we do just plain sherry wine, and we really kind of immerse ourselves in what sherry has to offer.
That's not a bad idea.
That way,
like an actual Oloroso sherry.
Yeah, because like you can't 100% guarantee me that a certain something tastes like a dirty sock unless you've actually tasted a dirty sock. Like, does that make sense? Like, I mean, if you watch into Gary Vee and like what he was talking about with his early wine TV, reviews and stuff, like he talks about that. Like, I actually had to take a dirty sock, he said. Not me personally. Good fucking God, no. But he took a dirty sock and he fucking ran some water through it or whatever, and he tried it. So he could have that, in that Rolodex of tasting notes in his head. So, any tasting note that people said were out there, dark fruits, stone fruits, plum peel, peach peel, apricot, wherever you're from, almond, pecan, all the things, right? He took a lot of time really getting to know those different tasting notes.
I got the hiccups now.
maybe we should try that with sherry. We haven't done that. We have not done that.
We have not.
But every time that we've had, except for this time, honestly, I think, anytime that we've had a sherry adjacent whiskey, we've been able to tell that there's sherry in it. Except for this time. This one here, dill explosion over the whole fucking thing.
I gotta get rid of these hiccups.
Yeah. So when it comes to bottle presentation, which we haven't gotten into, this one here, this bottle, it's a 375, right? It's a 375 version of the full grown motherfucker 750 of the OG Woodford Reserve bottle.
It's the same one, just mini-me.
Yeah, like they've got, I think, what is it, 2 different versions or 2 different bottle options that they have. One is this, like the flash. Oh shit, make that 3. Okay, so they have this one here, the kind of shorter, kind of fatter,
oaked,
double oak version.
I'm your stocky cousin
of the taller, thinner flask style bottle. And then they have I'm gonna grab this one here.
And then their master collection.
Yeah, the master collection with the double oaked. It's like the kind of hand grenade. I don't know what else to call it, honestly. Bottle. It's more rounded. It's a whole thing. But this one here falls in style with the original.
It's this
OG
one
release.
To 375.
Right. It's just shrunk down, right? What does it say up here on the top? Handcrafted small batch, release straight from Elizabeth McCall and her being a brainchild of something that she's had to offer. I really think that this one here, I don't know what to give this as far as the number goes. Like it. If I remember correctly,
I'm having a hard time.
It was close to, I think this one here, which is almost a mirror image, honestly. It was like a 3.5 or something. I mean, it was right there. It didn't wow us. I mean, it was right there and actually this label here, the OG, the original, has more on it than this label has. Actually, let me turn that around. This one here's got the extra strip. Yeah, it's got the extra strip, and it's kind of off to the side. You know, like the.
Mm-hmm. Well, this one wraps around a little bit.
Yeah, a little off to the side, wrap around.
Both of them are.
And they're both embossed. But you know what? It didn't wow me. But it's on the top half of the. I'm not underwhelmed by any stretch. But yeah, so like we talked about it before. We got like the walnut topper. I'm guessing it's walnut. We got the natural cork. We got a beautiful bottle. I mean, a 375 I think would make a great flask style bottle. If you're trying to smuggle it into a venue that has shit for whiskey selection, you know, like if all they have is white label Jim Beam and fucking Fireball,
bring that in.
Actually, we haven't done this yet since I brought it up. But you know, if all they have is like that basic ass, you know, white girl wasted shit.
Woo!
Yeah, if you got the woo girl selection. Yeah, you can definitely smuggle that some bitch in, especially if, you know, you're in the fucking band. You can smuggle in all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I'm not super impressed by the bottle, but I am pretty impressed by the juice within.
It's really good.
Mm-hmm. I was wowed, dude. I was wowed on this nose. Not for the reasons that I thought it would have been. It's super dill. Super dill. It fucking still is. How is that even possible? Unless, like, you know how I think the smell of rainwater, come to find out, is pear. Or like the smell of fresh, like, grass. You know, fresh cut grass or just plain grass, whatever. Is barley. You know, maybe I'm misidentifying things, right? However, I don't think we've ever had anything that smelled like quite dill. Like this, like dill, like straight up, fresh, like grabbed right out of your garden, right out of your herb garden dill. This is something else. That is something else.
I feel bad about my scores.
Dude, you know what? Your score...
My scores are my scores.
My grandma used to say an Irishman's first impression is his best impression. Actually, no, she didn't say that. An Irishman's first thought is his best thought. I don't know how Irish you are, but I don't even know how Irish I am. Actually, I do.
I'm Scottish.
Thanks to, well, I mean, it's really close. Thanks to Ancestry.com and 23andMe, I got a pretty fucking good idea. So, but I do know that I'm not Irish in any way. I'm actually American, full-blooded, born right here in the Kansas City of U.S.
True story.
Mm-hmm. You're from the St. Louis area, right?
St. Louis, yep.
Yeah, so like, you know, opposite sides of the same state, whatever.
Yep.
That nose, dude, that nose. Dude, I'm going high. I'm going high with that. It's not all the way high, but I'm going high. Palate fucking carried through.
I want to change my scores, but I don't want to change my scores. I want to keep them what my initial thoughts
I've been
were.
thinking, evaluating, rethinking, reevaluating this entire time. And I'm finally writing.
This was a confusing bottle. This was a really confusing bottle because
it's nothing like I thought it was going to be.
There's something...
I rolled in here with the expectations that are gone, right?
You were like, yeah, sherry!
Right. They got pissed out the window on the fucking highway, dude.
There's no sherry on this one.
And they splashed back on your face. Yeah, I got nothing. No sherry. I got maybe on the finish because that's where the raisin kind of kicked in. Speaking of finish, that one was right back up there. I mean, that was...
I really like this.
I can't believe that nobody in all of the reviews that you found online
didn't have dill.
Didn't have the dill. And you know what? Nobody...
Dill is all over
So I posted this bottle in the whiskey groups on Whiskey Tribe, Kansas City Bourbon, and Whiskey Club.
It's a Distillery Exclusive, so chances are...
And
very
Kansas City Whiskey Guild... Nobody commented on that bottle. They commented on some of the others, but definitely not on that one. Before we get into the rating system at all, I'm gonna give you the lowdown, the skinny, as it were, on how it is that we come up with our ratings. We have 4 categories. I'm gonna put that down because it's making a lot of noise. We have 4 categories: nose, palate, finish, bottle presentation. we take those 4 categories, nose, palate, finish, bottle presentation. We add those up with a 0 out of 5 rating to a possible 20. You know, I have yet to, actually, no. We have had a few 20s. Divide that number by 2, and that's how we get our 0 to 10 rating scale. So,
yes, sir.
Without further ado, nose, as the Pinkies Up crowd might call it. What did you give this Woodford Reserve blended malt sherry cask finished whiskey?
375.
Wow, really? A 375? You weren't wowed by it at all?
I thought it was great, but I gave it 375.
That's all right. That's all right. You know what? These are your numbers. Your nose is not my nose.
I was very tempted to go back and readjust, but I was like,
You were. That's fine. Stick with your original.
I'm gonna hold it.
Your nose is like more, normal person.
Hold the line.
Is like
hold the line.
Pointy fucking gargoyle nose.
What are you saying?
Huh? No. Like I said, yours is the more normal person nose. Mine is the more pointy fucking gargoyle noise.
Gotcha.
Noise, stupid whiskey, dill. Anyway, so
what'd you give
mine, dude? I gave it a 4.75, a 4.7, 4 3/4.
Oh damn!
I 100%
point
could
higher.
Not believe what was happening in front of me. I mean, there was dill, super dill, coriander, clove, brown sugar, molasses, and the malt/barley kind of influence because it is a malt, a blended malt. So that's the nose. That's only the smell, what our olfactory glands can pick up. Let's figure out what we gave it on the palate, what our taste buds gave it. W2?
Well, I came up to 4.
You came up to 4? I see why you wanted to revisit your rating, and that's fine because I had my first impressions, and then I kind of did the rethink.
I'm like, what is this? What are we drinking
and then
here?
I had to go, what the fuck?
I loved it, but what is this?
I did too, and then. Like the more we got into it, the more I thought and I rethought and I evaluated and I reevaluated. Mine 5 even. 5 even. I cannot believe how incredible this is. And if you know me, I do not really fuck with dill a whole lot. Dill pickles, get out of here. I ain't eating that trash. But dill,
I love me some
dill like ranch dressing for my salads. Yes, thank you. Like. Dill, it's a very, very versatile herb. Anyway, so on the palate, I mean, we had dill, clove, malt/barley. It was soft and creamy. There was molasses. You picked up blueberry. You picked up banana bread, and I agreed. Clove and cinnamon on the tasting notes that we reverse engineered, believed. Apple. I still don't find the apple, but you found the apple. I'm okay with that.
I found the apple.
There was so much happening on this palate. It was hard to really kind of narrow it down.
It was good.
Miss McCall, WTF, sis, like you are something. Like you created something super unique on this one. Let's go to finish. Yeah, so there was malt/barley that carried through the entire way. It was a medium kind of warm finish. It was soft and creamy. The dill carried through, but it quickly dissipated.
Did.
There was a little bit of the banana bread carried through from the palate over to the finish, which brought along with it the clove and the cinnamon. And fortunately, it brought in a little bit of raisin, and the raisin, I think, is what we get from the sherry, and a little bit of apple, which you found the apple. I did not. Whatever. I'm okay with that. So on my finish, I dropped it back down to 4.75, 4 3/4.
I dropped it down too, but I dropped it down to 3 3/4.
You know what? 3.75. It's not bad.
No, that's not bad at all.
It's not bad.
We're just a whole point off from
right. So if we're going from 0 to 5 on any of these ratings, mid ground, right? the halfway point is 2.5, 2.5,
sure.
right? And for you, it clocked in over.
Yeah.
The over that.
Yep.
So we're fine, dude. We're fine.
Bottle presentation.
For me, I wasn't wowed by it.
No,
I liked it better than the OG release.
It's a standard bottle. I mean,
it's got this cool wraparound thing. And it tells you things that the OG doesn't have. And it's got the wood stopper, a natural cork. I like them natural, y'all. And I was happy with it.
And by the way, Woodford Reserve always uses natural cork.
Always natural cork.
All their offerings are all natural cork.
And it seems to me like most are 90.4 proof.
Yep. That's
not all, but
that is their go-to.
That's their sweet spot.
That's their sweet spot.
And I don't know if they cater to that sweet spot to figure out, like barrel entry, barrel exit proof, add water here, add water there. Like whatever it is that they do to get it to that 90.4 proof, that 90.1 proof, whatever it may be,
I think Elizabeth McCall knows what she's doing.
She knows what she's doing.
But I don't know those details.
Yeah, and I do feel bad for those that aren't in that area, that aren't able to actually just go there and pick up this bottle. I mean, it's a $3.75. Do you remember off the top of your head just how much that cost? I know it
was right at like $50.
$50? $50 for a $3.75 seems kind of steep, but holy smokes!
But it's a very exclusive bottle.
Could you get it? Was this at the bar? Could you get a pour of this? I don't remember it at all. I remember seeing that rye thinking, I want the rye.
I'm positive you could.
Yeah?
But I don't know that for sure.
Okay.
I would be surprised if you could not.
All that to say, I wasn't super impressed with it. I didn't even get wowed by it, but I did like it. Right up into the point of almost being wowed. So I gave it a 3.75.
I gave it 3.5.
You give 3.5? All right. So yeah, I think on that point we wholeheartedly agree. It's good. It's not great, but it's definitely good. Definitely good.
From a brand standpoint, on par and where it needs to be for the brand ecosystem that all of the Woodford Reserve bottles live in. But 3.5, definitely better than average.
You know what? I didn't notice this before, but it does have a little bit of a product code marking down here at the bottom. I wonder what the hell does that mean? W1454255241241 blah 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 blah, etc., and then 375 milliliter. So just to wrap it up, nose, palate, finish, bottle presentation, final, all that wrapped up, possible 20 divided by 2 to get our 0 to 10 score. I ended up giving it a 9.125, a 9 1/8 score. How about you, Mr. W2?
How about 7.25?
I don't know how you could have given that a 7.25. Like, yes, it was not what we expected.
That's
it was not what any of us expected.
That's way above average, but
oh, you're right. It is way above average. But that was nothing like I expected it to be.
You really gave it a 9 1/8?
9 1/8, yeah, dude. I really liked it. And I think part of that is because that palate was effing fantastic. I gave it the 5.
I'm not mad at that at all.
Yeah. To each their own. You know? Your palate's not my palate. My palate's not yours. Nobody's palate is the same. All these numbers are just how we feel about it, and all whiskey. And all these numbers is just how we feel about it at the time. And at this time, by golly, I gave it a 9 1/8, but you gave it a 7.25. That's all right.
Very rarely are we that far apart from each other.
Yeah, that's a pretty big departure, man. That's something. But you did rethink all of your scores, or just some of them?
I think most of my scores, I was like, maybe that was a little too harsh.
All right. Well,
But I kept to all my original thoughts.
Yeah.
Did not change anything.
Stick to your first thoughts. And so, no matter how it is that you grade or rate or judge or review your whiskeys, that's just how we do it. So if any of this sounds good to you and you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hit that subscribe button, click that bell notification to stay up to date on all things Savor the Burn. If you're listening on the audio-only podcast apps of choice, thank you for following along. And either way, please, we would be much obliged if you would share this with your fellow bourbon or whiskey enthusiast friends. And either way, check out savortheburn.com. You can find this bottle among, hundreds of others in the liquor cabinet. Just click that drop-down menu and you'll be able to check it out, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. You'll find these T-shirts in the shop. And what else? Oh, the Patreons. Yeah, you can follow along on Patreon for free.
Yes, sir.
If you want, or if you want to even follow on the lowest paying tier, it's $3. Yeah, easy peasy. And then there's different tiers for the paying Patreons, and different tiers offer different things. That said, thank you 100%. Thank you for following along in this episode of the Savor the Burn podcast. We had a great time with this bottle.
That we picked up on our trip to Kentucky.
Yeah, we did. And
what a great trip that was.
You saw a couple of clips, from that, whether it on the TikTok or the Instagram Reels or Facebook Reels. You shorts and reels. You've probably seen a few clips, here and there, but and including in this episode. But we highly suggest, if you are in the area, go check out Woodford Reserve and see what all they have to offer.
Yeah.
They have that bar. It's an incredible bar. They have anything that they offer. They have for your enjoyment if you want to. There was one bottle that they wanted like $500 or $1,500.
Was that the Baccarat?
The Baccarat, is that what it was? I don't know. It was some crazy expensive pour. But if that's what you want, if that's in your wheelhouse, if that's in your budget,
it's
go
available.
For it. It's available. It's there. Go for it.
Yep.
So, honestly, guys, no matter what it is that you're drinking, no matter who you are and where you are, who you're drinking it with, never forget, keep on burning.